Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about this cool knife here today. It is a 3¼ inch regular jack, and got some nice patina going on there. This knife, let's see, Goins says this knife is dated between 1910 and 1920, and we're going to take a look at it. If you're interested, a pretty interesting story. This is a Cornwall Knife Company knife, and nobody knows who made these knives, but I think I do. If you'd like to find out, go ahead and check out the video.
No, you need me to read it for you? I know what Red Lobster has.
Yeah, that's silly one. Do you have my $3?
Hey, how we doing today?
Great,
how are you? I'm good, thank you so much for asking.
All right, welcome to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. I appreciate you so much. I really do. All of you. Even if you haven't subscribed, there's a lot of you that look at these videos and don't subscribe. That's okay. I still appreciate you. I know you're there. You're looking at the videos. And so, why is this knife so interesting? So, it's just your average regular jackknife. But the maker of this knife is unknown. And so there are some ideas on who actually made these knives. But I think I know exactly who made this knife, and I'm going to explain that to you. But first, let's look at the knife. And so it is kind of unusual because most jacks don't have tip bolsters. And you can see this has nickel silver tip bolsters, nickel silver shield. You have bakelite scales on this, brass pins, brass liners, and look at that patina. I have not cleaned this knife up. I don't know why. I've had it, I don't know, 6, 7 years. I just never got around to it. A little bit of a bobble right there where somebody burned it somehow. Maybe laid it on a cigarette. Who knows? Laid it on the stove. Anyhow, it's in pretty good shape. So listen to the walk and talk on this thing. You couldn't even hear it. It's dirty. It's got good walk and talk. So it's got half stops. There's the walk and talk. So I can hear the walk and talk on that. I can feel the gum, the gook in this main blade. I'm not worried about it. I clean it up. You can see a little bit of, oh no, rust. Ooh. I really need to get on this thing. Okay. So, anyhow, half stop. Nice walk and talk. Nice little federal shield there. And that is the secret to this knife. So, let's get into the history of this knife. So, I have other knives made by this manufacturer. They're not fantastic knives, but they are good knives. They're well-made knives, and that's the reason why I started collecting them. I've got a few of them, but nobody really knows who made these knives, and there's a couple lines of thought. So there was a William Cornwall who was an importer. He started importing circa 1884, I believe, in New York City. There's also a George Cornwall. There's no evidence that he was involved with knives at all. He did do some retailing, though. So could be George. But most people think it probably was William Cornwall who produced these knives. Coincidentally, William Cornwall was the agent for Canastota Knife Company. So he was hawking Canastota knives, finding people to buy them. That's what an agent did, kind of like a jobber. And so in 1895, Canastota Knife Company went bankrupt. So that wasn't William Cornwall's only bag of tricks. So he sold sporting goods, he sold firearms, you know, he was kind of like a hardware dealer. And he imported knives. So there were plenty of knife companies that he could switch to sell in that area. You had Meridian, you had Ulster, Schrade, which I don't believe Schrade made this knife at all because it's just not Schrade quality, and Electric Cutlery Company, New York Life Company, Valley Forge Knife Company was operating at that time frame. And so, you know, just plenty of companies he could have got these knives from. But so I believe if you look at this shield, it's very distinctive. So you have like square tabs going up here and coming down on this federal shield. I want to show you another one that dates to the 1830s. And it's from Syracuse Knife Company. And here it is right here. And look at the shield. How about that? Right? How about that? They are exactly the same. Syracuse Knife Company was made by Camillus. Here's a Camillus that dates to the 60s. Look at this. Same exact shield. So you have this shield on two different knife companies, even though Camillus did make this. Two different knife companies, and you have it here. And they're the same quality of these Camillus knives. So the question is, in 1895, could Cornwall had gotten hold of Camillus knives? Well, remember, Goins believes this is made in 1910 to 1920, so that's one thing. But in 1895, there's a cat named Charles Sherwood. He had a factory, and he leased that factory in 1895 to Robeson. Okay, Robeson. He managed Robeson's factory, knife factory. So Robeson's making knife. Charles Sherwood managed that, and then Robeson moved to Perryville to make his knives. And Charles Sherwood got the knife plant running again. He had to hire people, of course, and handle all those details, but he started making knives again. So by 1897, Charles Sherwood is making knives in that Camillus plant. And then in 1901, the Castor brothers buys that plant from Sherwood. And in 1902, they adopt the name Camillus Cutlery Company. Okay, so the Castor brothers already had plants in Germany. They were importing knives. They were making knives, procuring knives other places that were active in England. But they had this plant in Camillus, New York. And so I think, yeah, this knife could have been made by Camillus easily. And the evidence seems to be right there. Anyhow. And as always, I could just be absolutely wrong. But I don't think so. This is Camillus quality. It's a nice knife. It's a good knife. Fits the time frame. Nobody else has a better explanation than that. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative, and I really appreciate you all.